this interview and for inviting us into your home.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So let's get to it. How do you say your first name, and where did it come from?
My first name is Mitchell. It's pronounced Mitchell. My parents named me that, and it comes from the book of Daniel. It talks about three Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And but before they were captured, Meshach's name was Mitchell. And then when they were captured and put in slavery up under Nebuchadnezzar, they changed his name to Meshach. So that's where it comes from.
Oh, wow. Okay. So how long have you been in music ministry?
So how long have I been? So I've been in music ministry in church all of my life. I'm 51. And so I've been in music in church, music ministry in church, literally all of my life. My mom started me. My mom's a musician, singer, and a choir director. So that's my start in music ministry because of my mom. So I've been in music ministry literally all of my life, in music ministry, singing or playing an instrument. I started playing the piano when I was about 14 or 15 years old when I started actually playing in church. And I didn't become a minister of music until I was 17 or 18. And from then on, I've been in, music ministry. I'm 51, so about over 35 years at this point now.
So what are you currently working on musically?
So music, I'm working on some new music. We did a recording probably about 2 or 3 years ago, man. I did a recording called The Book of Mitchell, and I called it that because it was all I did some new music and then I did some old music that we revamped. So it was called The Book of Mitchell because it was all the songs that I wrote out of my heart. And so we're currently working on that. I also have a book called Biblical Principles to Music Ministry. The book is actually finished. We're just trying to decide on how we gonna put it out. There's an online workshop that I want to do with it. I miss old school workshops that we used to do in churches a lot, where you would have somebody come in and they would teach music, but then they would also teach classes. It's not a lot of that going on anymore, or either I'm not exposed to it. But so it's like an online workshop that we're working on. We're deciding if we're going to do it as a book or do it as a workshop. Maybe both, but we're kind of working on that. So I got music coming up, and the book of Biblical Principles to Music Ministry. So working on both of those.
Well, we pray God's blessings on all that you will do for the kingdom.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Are you a preacher?
Yes, I am a preacher. I was ordained as an elder in 2007. So about 18 years I've been a minister. Actually, me and my wife created, we started Holy Movement Ministries. When we initially started Holy Movement Ministries, we were doing something called Minstrel Speak. And what we would do, we would invite musicians or singers that were preachers also, but we would invite them to preach and not necessarily sing and not necessarily play their instrument. So we would have a praise team, a choir sing, and after each song, then one of them would get up and give the word. So, but the word would come from whatever the song was that the choir or the praise team actually got through singing. So let's say they did a song like He's Able. When the song ended, then the person that got up to preach would preach on He's Able. That would be their topic, right? So we started doing that. Just recently, we started a month ago. We started having in-person services just once a month, like a Sunday afternoon, 6:15. We're calling it Evening of Presence. And it's just worship and word. I'm giving the word. So me and my wife just started that. So we only have services like once a month.
So what made you decide to have in-person services once a month?
Well, so one of the things, we both are, extremely busy, right? And we're not trying to start a church. That's not what it is. I'm more of a community. We are musical, so music is a heavy part of it, but word is also a part of it also. So as far as like having it once a month, that is me being obedient to what I believe God said to me, a visitation I had from God. My daughter had last year had just finished medical school, right? She had just graduated from medical school, got a doctorate. So proud of her. She finished medical school, got her doctorate, and she was doing her residence, and She got really sick. Long story short, we didn't know what was going on with her. It was it felt really long. It really was a 6 month, 5 or 6 month time of us, praying and trying to find out what we needed to do for her. They eventually diagnosed her with lupus, and it attacked her nervous system, it attacked her liver, it attacked her heart, and it was attacking her kidneys. And the doctors basically was saying, she should be out of here, right? So we were praying, man, God heal her, God heal her. And one night I'm laying in the bed, and I'm still praying, God heal her, God heal her, God heal her. And then I changed my prayer and I started saying, God, if you could just fill me with your presence. Because in my mind, I felt like, God, because at that time when she was sick, I wasn't hearing from God, and I couldn't feel God. And I didn't understand it because I had never been in a place like that in my life. And so I really didn't know how to handle it. Felt abandoned, to be honest. And like he didn't care. He wasn't saying anything. And we're still praying, proclaiming the name of Jesus. We're pleading the blood. And it felt like things were just getting worse. And so I just wasn't used to not feeling him, not used to not feeling him. So even in the midst of that, we're going months of, I'm still minister music at the church. So I'm still picking the songs, and we're doing praise and worship, and people just praising God, but and all of that's going on, and God is moving, and I'm not feeling anything, and I have to keep functioning because it's my job. So that night that I mentioned, I'm laying in bed and I'm praying God heal, and then I just changed my prayer. I said, God, if I can you just fill me with your presence? Because in my mind, if I can get God's presence, then I can put my hands on my daughter and then she can heal. And that night, when I changed my prayer from, when I changed my prayer from God heal her to fill me with your presence, God came in my room. I felt the glory of the Lord come in the room, and it had been months, man, and I'm sitting there just crying. And he was giving me instructions. Like, you do this. This is what I want you to do. And he was making it clear. And at that time, my daughter could not sleep. We were giving her medication that they give people when they finna operate. She was not going to sleep. And that night, God said to me, proof that I'm talking to you. You hear my dog? He said, proof that I'm talking to you, I'm going to make her sleep. And I looked at my phone, and it was like 2:30 in the morning. And the next morning when I got up, I'm downstairs. It was on a Saturday. I'm downstairs trying to get dressed. And my wife come down the steps, and I said, where's Lacey? And she said, well, she's sleeping. I said, sleep? She really went to sleep? She said, yeah, she's been asleep since about 2:30. That's when I knew, okay, I know that was God. Nobody can tell me that wasn't God. And so one of the instructions was, start having service once a month. And I don't know what's going to come out of it. I really don't care. At this point in my life, I'll lose more by not being obedient to God than I'm ever going to lose being obedient to him. And so it's just an obedience thing that I'm doing. And that's all. That's why it's once a month. God said once a month, and that's what we're doing. It's not a church, not trying to get members. It's not that at all. So that's why we do once a month. So we'll do once a month, evening of worship. We'll worship, we get a word, do what God is saying in that space. And that's it, man. So that's what it is.
Amazing testimony. What do you see in the future for your ministry and your music?
What do I see in the future for my music and my ministry? You know what? Right now, I'm not even concerned about the future. I can't even think that far. I'm in the moment of just doing everything God is telling me to do, like right now, and trying to get out of me everything God has put in me. And I think that's my focus. It's not the future per se. It's what I need, what God is saying right now in this moment. Do that. What music God is giving me right in that moment, put that music out. So that's my focus. Whatever God is saying for my life in this moment, that's where I am. I'm not even really concerned about the future. I believe that my future is, I want to make it to heaven. That's my future, and I believe if I just obey God and do what God is saying, then that's the only future I need to be concerned about. So that's kind of where I am right now. I'm not trying to be deep, but that's where we are right now.